Tonight, we journey to a place of ancient knowledge, where the stone walls are thick with the weight of centuries. Nestled at the edge of the southernmost reaches of Westeros lies Oldtown, the oldest city in the realm. Amidst its winding streets and bustling markets, there stands a towering structure, the Citadel, home to the learned Maesters of Westeros. Here, in this labyrinthine complex, men from all across the world train for decades, poring over scrolls and ancient tomes to become the realm's most trusted advisors, healers, and scholars. The Citadel is a place of silence, reverence, and relentless study. Its candlelit halls are filled with the soft flicker of flames, the rustle of parchment, and the quiet footsteps of those who have devoted their lives to the pursuit of knowledge. In the stillness of these corridors, the Maesters go about their quiet, daily rituals, reading, transcribing, and tending to the vast library of secrets that have accumulated over thousands of years. Each day passes with methodical precision, each task carried out with quiet care. The Citadel, while vast and imposing, moves at its own unhurried pace, a fortress of knowledge amidst the quiet echoes of time. But not all is as calm and peaceful as it may seem. There is a door, one of iron and secrecy, hidden deep in the heart of the Citadel, a place that the Maesters themselves fear. The Black Door. As we wander deeper into the mysteries of the Citadel, we will learn about this door, its secrets, and the unsettling stillness that surrounds it. But for now, let the sounds of the Citadel's peaceful rhythm carry you away. Feel the weight of centuries-old knowledge in the air, and let the quiet hum of the candlelit halls guide you into a state of calm. For tonight, we let the silence of Oldtown and the mysteries of the Citadel lull you to sleep. As the first light of dawn gently filters through the thick stone walls of the Citadel, the air is already cool and still. The vast, labyrinthine corridors of the Citadel are shrouded in a quiet, reverent atmosphere. The faint flicker of candlelight dances on the ancient stone, casting long shadows that stretch down the hallways, curling around corners, and gently illuminating the silent, towering shelves of scrolls and books that line every available surface. The Maesters of the Citadel are already awake, as they always are. It's a habit ingrained in them from years of training, waking before the sun, ready to begin another day of study and preparation. The stillness of the Citadel is broken only by the soft rustle of their robes as they walk, the echo of their footsteps reverberating softly off the stone walls. Everything here is slow, deliberate, and measured. There is no rush. Time seems to move differently within these walls, as though the pace of life itself has been tempered by centuries of knowledge and reflection. You step into the hallway, the cold stone floor cool beneath your bare feet. The first thing that strikes you is the quiet. The silence here is deep, almost tangible, like a heavy blanket that wraps around you, muffling every sound. It's a silence that comes from the weight of ages of wisdom, the sound of 1,000 scholars' whispers echoing softly through the halls. As you walk through the winding corridors of the Citadel, you pass by other Maesters, each one moving silently, deep in thought or absorbed in the work that must be done. Their faces are solemn, their eyes tired from years of study, but there is a kind of quiet pride in their steps. They know their place here, in this grand, ancient institution of learning. They are dedicated, disciplined, and devoted to the pursuit of knowledge. The Citadel, though vast and intimidating, is a place of routine and ritual. It is here that young men come to study for decades, training to become the healers, historians, and scholars of Westeros. The halls of the Citadel are lined with endless shelves of scrolls and books, each one a record of the world's knowledge, a glimpse into the history and mysteries of the realm. The scent of old parchment fills the air, thick and musky, reminding you of the vast trove of wisdom contained within these walls. You pass through several chambers, each one more imposing than the last. The walls are lined with ancient manuscripts, the faint sound of quills scratching against parchment echoing softly from distant rooms. Here, in the heart of the Citadel, the Maesters are entrusted with the preservation of knowledge, carefully transcribing the records of history and medicine for future generations. The work in the Citadel is painstaking, but it is never hurried. The Maesters spend their days poring over the great texts of the past, studying the teachings of the ancient scholars, learning the ways of medicine and healing, and transcribing the knowledge they have gathered. It is a quiet, solitary existence, but it is a fulfilling one. In the inner chambers, the Maesters often work in silence, sitting at large desks surrounded by stacks of books and scrolls. The fire in the hearth crackles gently, providing a bit of warmth against the cold that seeps through the stone walls. The quiet rhythm of writing and transcribing fills the air, and the sound of quills scratching across parchment is almost hypnotic. There are no distractions here, only the work and the wisdom that must be passed down. But the Citadel is not just a place of study, it is a place of learning, of discovery, and of ritual. Each Maester undergoes a rigorous training, spending decades in the service of the Citadel before earning the coveted chain of office. The chain, a symbol of their knowledge, is forged from various metals, each link representing a different area of expertise. It is a badge of honor, earned through years of dedication, and it is worn with pride by those who have spent their lives in the pursuit of knowledge. As you walk further into the Citadel, you find yourself in one of its most sacred areas, the library. It is a vast, cavernous space filled with row upon row of towering bookshelves, each one brimming with ancient texts and scrolls. The air is thick with the scent of old leather and parchment, and the sound of the wind outside is muffled by the weight of the knowledge contained within these walls. In this space, the Maesters of the Citadel spend their days searching for answers, deciphering the secrets of the world. The library is a place of quiet contemplation, where the great minds of Westeros have come to learn, to teach, and to preserve the wisdom of the ages. The candles flicker softly, their light casting long shadows across the stone floor, as the Maesters move quietly between the rows of bookshelves, carefully selecting the volumes they wish to study. Each Maester has their own area of focus, whether it be history, medicine, astronomy, or any of the other countless subjects that are studied within the Citadel's walls. The library contains the knowledge of the ages, a vast compendium of every field of study. The work is slow, methodical, but it is rewarding. The Maesters are not just scholars, they are the custodians of knowledge, entrusted with preserving the history and future of Westeros. But the stillness of the library, with its quiet, solemn atmosphere, is only broken by the occasional sound of a Maester speaking to another, sharing a piece of knowledge or discussing a discovery. These conversations are brief, but they are filled with the weight of centuries of learning. The Maesters do not speak often, but when they do, it is with purpose, their words carrying the weight of their years of study and understanding. The sense of peace here is profound, but even in the quietest of places, there are moments of unease. For there is one place in the Citadel that is rarely spoken of, one that even the most learned of the Maesters avoid, the Black Door. Hidden deep within the archives, this iron-bound door is said to lead to a place that no Maester has dared to explore. Some say it is a place where dangerous knowledge is kept, hidden away from the world. Others whisper that the Black Door holds secrets too dark to be understood. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is certain, the Black Door remains sealed, locked away, and left largely undisturbed. But for now, the focus remains on the steady, rhythmic pace of life within the Citadel. The work continues. The scrolls are read, the books are transcribed, and the vast library of knowledge grows ever larger. In this ancient, peaceful space, the Maesters dedicate their lives to preserving the wisdom of the ages, living in quiet reverence of the knowledge that has been passed down to them. Life moves slowly here, no rush, no distractions, only the steady, quiet flow of time. As the morning continues its quiet progression, the Maesters of the Citadel begin their duties with practiced calm. The halls are empty save for the soft shuffle of robes against the stone floor, the occasional clink of keys in the hands of those tasked with opening the great vaults of knowledge. It is a place that moves on its own time, unaffected by the rush of the outside world. Life inside the Citadel is a meditative existence, where the mind is sharpened, but the body, too, must endure the relentless stillness. The Citadel's study rooms are scattered throughout its vast expanse, each room a sanctuary for those who seek wisdom and understanding. Every space is meticulously arranged, with shelves filled with dusty tomes and brittle scrolls. In the morning light, the dust motes dance lazily through the air, floating in the beams of soft sunlight that slit through the narrow windows. These rooms, though sparse in decoration, feel alive with the knowledge contained within them. Every scroll, every book is a world of its own, holding stories, history, and secrets that only a chosen few are allowed to uncover. You pass by one of the study rooms, peeking inside. A maester sits at a desk, his back bent over a scroll. His face is deeply concentrated, and the only sound in the room is the soft scratch of his quill as he copies passages from an ancient text. The light from the hearth behind him casts flickering shadows on the stone walls, but it's not enough to dispel the pervasive chill that fills the air. His fingers move with precision as he carefully copies each word, not in haste, but with a reverence for the knowledge he's entrusted to preserve. As you continue walking, you come across more maesters, each one absorbed in their own quiet tasks. Some study the stars in the observatory, where maps and charts of the heavens are spread across long tables. Others can be found in the vast medical wing, where the quietest of sounds, blood flowing in a vein, a breath taken in, are observed with the utmost attention. Each maester is devoted to their craft, but the work, despite its vastness, seems not to exhaust them. The Citadel breeds patience, and in patience, there is no hurry. You make your way down to the lower levels, where the library stretches even further, its stone walls lined with towering shelves. The musty scent of parchment and ink fills the air here, as thick as the weight of the centuries of knowledge stored within these walls. These shelves are home to texts that even most maesters never see. The deepest, most ancient records of Westeros, history, magic, alchemy, and healing, are housed here, guarded by the oldest of the Citadel scholars. It is said that some scrolls are kept sealed, their contents so volatile or dangerous that only a select few have ever laid eyes on them. As you walk deeper into the library, the air grows cooler, as though the walls themselves store the chill of knowledge that is too old, too deep for most minds to understand. The sound of your footsteps echoes in the hollow space, mixing with the faint rustle of a maester turning pages. He doesn't look up as you pass, so absorbed is he in his work. Here, time seems to slow, and even the most complex studies feel like they are undertaken at the pace of thought itself. In the corner, you notice the figure of a younger maester, his face lit by the glow of a single candle. He's reading a text that appears to be centuries old, the paper worn, and the ink fading in places. He runs his fingers over the edges of the parchment as though touching the words themselves. There's a certain reverence in his posture, a quiet understanding of the importance of the task at hand. His eyes move slowly across the page, the words seeming to unravel before him, a tapestry of knowledge that he must carefully preserve. But even here, in this vast and almost sacred space, there is an undertone of unease. The black door, though far from here, is always at the back of your mind. The door that is never spoken of openly, that is always avoided with careful steps and hesitant glances. It looms over the Citadel, a shadow cast over even the brightest minds who wander its endless halls. The maesters do not talk about it. Their silence speaks volumes. There are whispers that the black door leads to the oldest and most forbidden knowledge, secrets that were better left uncovered, memories that could alter the very fabric of the Citadel's history. But these are only rumors. The black door is a place wrapped in mystery, a mystery that even the most learned men of the Citadel dare not approach. The library itself is, for the most part, free of distractions. The silence here is not the kind that feels empty, rather, it is filled with the weight of untold wisdom. There are no bells, no chimes, no calls to action. Just the slow, rhythmic ticking of time passing through the thick stone walls. The maesters are bound by a pact of quietude, their work uninterrupted by the noise of the outside world. The Citadel has its own pace, and those who reside within it are bound to it. You walk deeper into the library's labyrinth of shelves, your footsteps echoing, soft but purposeful. In the distance, you catch sight of a few maesters deep in conversation. Their voices are low, almost whispered, as if discussing something too important to speak aloud. You can't hear their words, but you notice their intense focus. One of them holds an ancient map, tracing the lines with his finger. The other holds a tome, its cover old and cracked, its pages yellowed with age. The map and the book seem to belong to different times, and yet, they are being brought together, an attempt to find some deeper understanding between past and present. There is no rush. The work is long, but it is steady, and it moves at the pace of the knowledge being unearthed. The Citadel's vast library holds the secrets of the world, and for those who seek them, they are there to be found, if one is patient enough. The Maesters spend years, sometimes decades, in this place. The work, though never-ending, is a journey of constant learning, constant discovery. There is no end to the knowledge here, only new questions that arise, new mysteries that need solving. The Citadel's endless halls are filled with the past, the present, and the future, all existing together in a constant state of flux. It is a place of study, a place of discovery, and yet, there is always something that remains hidden, something that eludes even the most dedicated scholar. As the sun begins to sink lower on the horizon, casting long shadows across the ancient stone of the Citadel, the atmosphere shifts. The hustle and bustle of the day begins to fade, and a stillness takes over. The once busy corridors, filled with the soft shuffle of maesters and acolytes, are now quieter. The light flickers faintly from the hundreds of candles that line the walls, casting eerie, wavering shadows against the cold stone. The Citadel is a place of reverence, and as the day turns to night, the air feels even heavier with the weight of the knowledge it holds. It is in the evening hours that the Maesters find solace in the deeper reaches of the Citadel. This is when many of them retreat to their study rooms, their personal sanctuaries, to reflect on the work of the day or to delve into research that requires deeper focus. The sense of isolation within the Citadel becomes more pronounced in the quiet hours. The thick stone walls hold a reverberating silence, where only the faint sounds of turning pages or quills scratching across parchment disturb the stillness. The chambers of the Maesters are simple, in keeping with their purpose. A desk, a chair, a small bed, and a dimly flickering candle are all that are needed. There is no luxury in the Citadel, nor is there any need for it. The Maesters live not for comfort, but for knowledge. Their rooms are filled with scrolls, books, and charts, some of which are ancient and fragile, their ink fading with the years. These texts are the cornerstone of their education, each page holding a part of Westeros' vast history. But even the most dedicated Maesters must, from time to time, face the limitations of their surroundings. In the quieter hours of the night, as the shadows grow long, the Citadel feels like a living, breathing entity. The silence, oppressive during the day, now feels profound, as if every corner of the Citadel is hiding something, a secret, a forgotten history, or a truth that has been deliberately obscured. Among the halls, the black door remains an ever-present, unspoken enigma. Its sealed threshold beckons curiosity, yet no one dares to acknowledge it openly. The Maesters of the Citadel, with their vast knowledge, walk past it every day, but never give it a second glance. The black door exists like a stain upon the otherwise pristine walls of the Citadel, a shadow in the light of all the knowledge contained within. It is a mystery that goes beyond the knowledge the Maesters hold dear, a reminder that some things in this world are meant to remain hidden, no matter how much one might wish to understand them. You walk through the halls in the quiet evening, your footsteps muffled by the thick stone beneath your feet. The sounds of the Citadel at night are soothing, the occasional rustle of paper, the low murmur of a Maester lost in thought, the quiet snap of a candle being lit. You pass by rooms filled with more books, more scrolls, more work, and yet, there is an overwhelming sense of emptiness. The space is filled not with the bustle of the outside world, but with the intense stillness of concentrated thought. The Citadel is a place of dedication, but also one of isolation. One of the smaller, quieter halls in the Citadel holds a particularly special collection, the observatory. Here, under the dome of the roof, the Maesters study the stars and the movements of the heavens, trying to uncover the patterns that rule the cosmos. The walls of the observatory are lined with intricate maps of the sky, and the flickering light of the candles dances across the astrological charts. The quiet hum of conversation is often heard here, as Maesters discuss their findings, debate theories, and attempt to find meaning in the stars above. But even in this place of study, there is an undercurrent of uncertainty. The stars, after all, are no more understood than the mysteries hidden behind the black door. Maesters can chart their movements, predict eclipses, and draw conclusions about the nature of the heavens, but the stars themselves remain an enigma. Even the most learned minds in Westeros are not immune to the unexplainable wonders of the world. The Maesters have knowledge, yes, but they also know that some things are simply beyond their reach. As the evening draws on, the corridors grow darker. The last of the sunlight fades behind the stone walls, and the flickering light of torches casts long shadows that dance across the ancient halls. In the silence, the Citadel feels alive with whispers of the past, of ancient secrets, and of things left forgotten. The wind howls outside, pressing against the walls as though attempting to force its way into the fortress of knowledge. But the Citadel remains steadfast, a bastion of learning and mystery amidst the encroaching darkness. The feeling of being surrounded by so much knowledge, so much forgotten history, begins to weigh on you. The sheer scale of it is overwhelming. There is so much to learn, so much to uncover, and yet so many of the answers remain just out of reach. It is a reminder of how much the Maesters give up in their pursuit of knowledge. To dedicate one's life to study and research is to choose a path of sacrifice, sacrificing personal comfort, relationships, and sometimes even one's own happiness, for the pursuit of understanding. And yet, they carry on, for the work must be done. The world of Westeros depends on the Maesters' wisdom, even if they never know the true value of what they contribute. Walking through the quiet halls of the Citadel, you begin to sense the weight of all this history. Every room is filled with it. Every scroll and book holds the echoes of centuries past. There is a reverence in the air, a sacredness to the pursuit of knowledge. The Maesters do not just study the past, they are also stewards of the future, guardians of secrets that will shape the world. But as you approach the archives, you can't help but think of the Black Door once again. The closer you get to the deepest parts of the Citadel, the more palpable the unease becomes. You have heard the rumors, stories passed in hushed tones by those who are too afraid to speak openly about it. The Black Door is more than just a physical barrier. It is a symbol of the Citadel's secrets, those that are too dangerous to be uncovered, too dark to be understood. The silence surrounding it is deafening. It looms, a constant reminder that even in a place of knowledge, some things are better left untouched. And yet, despite the overwhelming silence that surrounds it, you can feel a quiet invitation. The Black Door beckons, calling out in a way that only the most curious minds can hear. But, like the Maesters before you, you know better than to venture too close. The Citadel may offer the world's wisdom, but it also holds its secrets tightly, and some things, no matter how much they intrigue us, are not meant to be uncovered. As night falls deeper over the Citadel, the once quiet halls are now bathed in the soft glow of candlelight. The flickering flames cast dancing shadows on the stone walls, creating an atmosphere of calm, but with an undertone of mystery. The vastness of the Citadel, its miles of corridors and endless shelves filled with knowledge, now feels even more overwhelming. The silence is a presence in itself, wrapping itself around each corner, muffling each sound. The Maesters continue their work in the stillness, the air filled only with the quiet scratch of quills on parchment, the soft rustling of ancient scrolls, and the occasional murmur of whispered conversation. It's during these late hours, when the last of the daylight has faded from the sky, that the Citadel truly feels like a place frozen in time. The outside world, with its noise, its bustle, its distractions, feels impossibly far away. In here, it's as though the past and present exist side by side, woven together by the words and the wisdom contained in these ancient texts. The Maesters, so deeply entrenched in their study, are bound by a rhythm of routine, a rhythm that echoes through the halls, steady and unwavering, like the ticking of a clock. There is no rush, no hurry in the Citadel. Time moves slowly, almost imperceptibly. But even in this sanctuary of knowledge, the shadow of the Black Door looms over everything. No one speaks about it directly, yet its presence is felt by all who wander these halls. The fear of it is as thick as the dust that coats the tomes on the highest shelves, lingering, untouched, buried beneath centuries of history. The Maesters, despite their vast learning, know there are things best left unexplored. The Black Door, a simple iron-bound door in the archives, has become more than just a physical barrier. It has become a symbol of the limits of knowledge, a reminder that there are things in this world, perhaps even in Westeros, that are better left undisturbed. As you walk deeper into the Citadel, the path before you becomes quieter, the low hum of activity receding into the distance. The sharp, cold air of Oldtown, so thick with the damp sea breeze, feels a world away from the warmth of the candlelit rooms you pass. The corridors narrow, and the air grows cooler, as though the deepest part of the Citadel is keeping its secrets hidden from prying eyes. You find yourself standing before one of the lower levels of the library, where the Maesters gather their most ancient and forgotten texts. The great library of the Citadel is the heart of its knowledge, a vast structure of stone and parchment that stretches on far beyond what the eye can see. The shelves tower high, brimming with scrolls, books, and manuscripts that tell the story of Westeros and beyond. It is a place where history itself is kept, where the details of forgotten civilizations are preserved with the utmost care. The air is thick with the scent of old parchment, the weight of centuries of accumulated wisdom pressing down from the high, vaulted ceilings. The Maesters spend their waking hours here, hunched over manuscripts, studying maps, and analyzing records of ancient wars and long-forgotten diseases. There is always work to be done. The library is never truly silent. There are always sounds, the soft rustling of pages turning, the low murmur of a maester discussing a new theory with a fellow scholar, the distant crackle of the fire in the hearth. The sense of reverence here is palpable, as though every book and every scroll is a piece of a larger puzzle that the Maesters are meant to understand. But there is a quiet intensity, a sense that this is more than just a place of study. It is a place of discovery, a place where the very nature of the world is slowly being unraveled. Yet, no matter how vast the library, there is always something that seems just out of reach. The black door, a single, simple entryway tucked away in a far corner of the archives, serves as a reminder that there are things in the Citadel that are not meant to be touched, not meant to be understood. The door remains locked, and only a few select Maesters have ever set eyes upon it. It is said that those who work closest to it, those who stand near the threshold, can feel a sense of unease, a quiet dread that makes their breath catch in their throats. You pause before it now, standing at a distance, your heart beating a little faster. The shadows of the archive seem to stretch longer around you, as if the black door is drawing them in. It's strange, the door is so ordinary, yet it feels like a boundary between two worlds, the world of knowledge and the world of unknown horrors. It's a simple door, iron-bound and unadorned, yet it is the most mysterious feature of the Citadel. There are no words etched into its surface, no grand carvings, no markings of any kind. It looks like a door that could belong anywhere, simple, unremarkable. And yet, the more you stand in front of it, the more you feel a sense of weight pressing against you, as if the air around it is thicker than anywhere else. There's a whisper of something hidden behind the door, something the Maesters fear. But even as you stand there, the door seems to call out to you, beckoning. Its silence is louder than anything else in the Citadel, as though it is speaking without words. There is no physical sound, but you can hear the murmur of the Citadel's secrets. They echo softly in your mind. What lies beyond it? What knowledge does it contain? Is it truly forbidden, or simply ignored because its contents are too dangerous for even the Maesters to comprehend? The Maesters may fear the black door, but their fear only heightens your curiosity. They are men of reason and understanding. How can they fear something they cannot explain? The secrets of the Citadel are vast, and the black door, for all its quiet mystery, is a part of that secret. As you turn away, the moment of stillness lingers, the unease building as you walk through the silent halls. The door remains untouched, locked away in a forgotten corner, while the rest of the Citadel continues its quiet routine. You can almost hear the door whispering to you, telling you that there are things you will never understand, no matter how much you study, no matter how much you learn. The soft glow of candlelight flickers in the distance as you make your way back through the halls, and the silence slowly returns to the Citadel. You pass by the many rooms where Maesters are still at work, their faces buried in their books, their minds lost in ancient texts. The Citadel seems vast, infinite even, filled with endless corridors and hidden chambers. But beneath all the knowledge, beneath all the wisdom, there is always a sense of something untold, a mystery that even the most learned minds cannot fully grasp. The Black Door is a part of that mystery, and perhaps it always will be. As you make your way back to your chambers for the night, you can't shake the feeling that the Citadel is alive in ways that go beyond what the Maesters study. The vast library, the infinite scrolls, and the books that have been collected for centuries, they all carry with them secrets. And the Black Door is the most potent reminder of them all. In a place where knowledge reigns, there are still things that no one dares to touch, secrets that remain hidden for a reason. The morning breaks in Oldtown with a sharp, cold breeze that stirs the banners of the Citadel, its mighty flags rippling lazily in the wind. The city itself, perched on the southernmost tip of Westeros, is filled with the scent of salt from the harbor and the ancient, almost tangible aura of the Citadel that looms above it all. The great fortress is a world unto itself, a labyrinth of stone, knowledge, and silence. It is a place where time moves differently, more slowly, more deliberately, and where the constant hum of quiet study never ceases. Today, like any other, begins with the familiar pattern, the distant sound of bells ringing in Oldtown streets, followed by the soft shuffle of footsteps within the Citadel's massive stone halls. The Maesters begin their day before dawn breaks, the quiet stillness of the pre-dawn hours offering them the solitude they need to focus on the work ahead. The walls of the Citadel are thick, and the only sounds that break the silence are the soft rustling of robes as scholars move from room to room, absorbed in the endless task of cataloging and preserving the knowledge that has been accumulated here over the centuries. As you step into the hallways of the Citadel, the chill of the stone floor presses up through the soles of your boots. The air inside is cool, even in the early morning, though the flickering light of candles and hearths offers a slight reprieve from the pervasive cold. The stone itself seems to hold the cold deep within it, as though the fortress is forever wrapped in the embrace of winter. The corridors are vast, their high ceilings arched in sweeping curves that make the space feel even larger, as if the weight of knowledge itself has caused the walls to stretch upward in an effort to contain the endless scrolls, books, and records stored within the Citadel's confines. The hallway before you is quiet, but not empty. There are no bustling crowds, no hurried footsteps. Instead, there is the sound of soft footsteps, almost muffled by the heavy stone. The Maesters, already deep in thought, walk past you with a quiet dignity. Their eyes are often lowered, focused on the texts in their hands or the thoughts that fill their minds. Each Maester carries with him an air of purpose, a silent understanding that they are part of something much larger than themselves, something ancient and monumental. At the heart of the Citadel lies the vast library, the true treasure of this great institution. Its shelves stretch so high that the top shelves are almost lost in the shadows, and the air is thick with the scent of old parchment and leather-bound books. Here, in this sacred space, the Maesters study, transcribe, and debate the mysteries of the world. The library is not just a room of books, but a living archive of the collective wisdom of Westeros. History, medicine, astronomy, magic, each scroll, each manuscript contains the essence of human knowledge, collected and preserved through the ages. As you walk deeper into the library, the vastness of it overwhelms you. The sound of your footsteps seems to vanish into the air, swallowed by the sheer immensity of the space. The bookshelves form towering walls of knowledge, stretching in every direction. Each row holds a different section of study, medicine on one side, history on the other, astronomy and alchemy filling the far corners. The scrolls are neatly arranged and protected, but there is something eerie in the stillness of the room, a sense of weight to the silence that fills the air. In this quiet, ancient place, it is easy to forget the world beyond the Citadel's stone walls. The noise of Oldtown, the bustling streets, the cries of merchants, none of that reaches here. In the library, there is only the slow, deliberate movement of scholars, as they sift through the wealth of knowledge that has been gathered and preserved. They are absorbed in their work, barely acknowledging the passage of time as they flip through pages of old, brittle parchment, seeking the answers to the questions of the world. You pass by one maester as he kneels beside a low shelf, carefully unrolling a fragile scroll. His fingers are slow, steady, as though afraid of disturbing the delicate text. He carefully inspects the ancient script, his eyes squinting slightly in the dim light. There is no rush, no urgency in his movements. He is patient, perhaps because he knows that time in the Citadel moves at its own pace. Each moment is measured, each action deliberate. There is no need for haste. The work must be done, and it will be done in time. The library is a place where knowledge is both revered and preserved, but it is also a place where curiosity leads to mystery. Deep within the library lies the vaults, the lower chambers of the Citadel that house the oldest and most dangerous of texts. These texts, some say, are filled with secrets too dark for even the most learned minds. It is here, beneath the library, where the black door stands, locked away, its contents sealed from the rest of the world. Few know what lies beyond that door. Fewer still dare to ask. As you move deeper into the library, the air seems to grow colder. The shadows stretch longer across the rows of bookshelves, and the faintest sound of a distant door creaking can be heard in the far reaches of the room. The sense of unease grows slightly, but it is not fear. It is curiosity, an insatiable desire to understand the unknown, to uncover the secrets that lie just out of reach. And yet, even as you approach the darker corners of the library, there is a sense that some things are not meant to be discovered. There are mysteries in the Citadel that are better left untouched, better left unspoken. The Maesters, with their quiet, deliberate movements, are aware of these secrets. They know the black door is there, and they know what it represents, an enigma that defies understanding, a barrier that keeps even the most curious minds at bay. The Maesters live by the pursuit of knowledge, but there are some things in the Citadel that even they dare not explore. The black door stands as a testament to the limits of their understanding. It is a reminder that, no matter how vast their knowledge, some things remain beyond their grasp. But in the quieter parts of the library, where the air grows still and the shadows deepen, you can feel the pull of the door. There is something irresistible about it, something that calls out to you in the same way that knowledge itself does. The Citadel is full of answers, full of stories and histories, but the black door holds a secret that is impossible to ignore. Perhaps it is not simply the fear of the unknown that keeps the Maesters away, it is the fear of what might happen if they were to open it. Some mysteries are not meant to be solved. Some doors are not meant to be opened. As the evening wears on, the Citadel grows quieter still. The last of the Maesters retire to their rooms for the night, leaving behind their scrolls and tomes, their minds still racing with the thoughts of the day. The library, once alive with the sound of whispered conversations and the rustling of parchment, is now still. Only the faintest flicker of candlelight remains, casting long shadows over the rows of books. The Citadel, once bustling with scholars, has fallen into silence. Even the wind, which had been howling through the narrow gaps in the stone, has quieted, as though respecting the peace of the place. The black door, hidden in the farthest corners of the Citadel, waits. It is an unremarkable door in appearance, but its presence is undeniable. Even in the silence of the library, you can feel it, an absence, a void that seems to beckon from behind the iron-bound surface. It is there, in the dark, waiting for those who are brave enough, or foolish enough, to seek out its secrets. But tonight, like every night, it remains locked and untouched. And as the shadows grow longer, as the last of the Maesters retire for their rest, you cannot help but wonder, what lies behind the black door? What knowledge is too dangerous, too secret, for even the greatest minds to uncover? But for now, the door remains closed, the mystery of its contents sealed away in the deepest recesses of the Citadel. The air in the Citadel feels different after the evening, thicker somehow, as though the silence itself has weight. The walls, so ancient and worn, seem to exude a sense of timelessness. Every step you take in the dimly lit corridors echoes slightly, amplifying the feeling of isolation within the vast fortress. There's no rush here, no deadlines or obligations that drive the Maesters forward. Time moves at its own pace, and even the smallest actions seem to be measured and deliberate, as though life itself within these stone walls is carefully sculpted by the knowledge contained within. The path ahead is long and winding, as the Citadel stretches far deeper beneath the ground than it first appears. The outer hallways are often adorned with banners of various houses and families of Westeros, reminders of the world beyond the Citadel's walls, though the men within these halls are often more concerned with what lies inside the fortress than what lies outside. Their minds are steeped in the past, the present, and the far-off future, all entwined in the pages of books and the whisper of scrolls. Passing by countless rooms, each filled with its own collection of secrets, you notice the faintest trace of movement. A maester emerges from a narrow, candlelit doorway, carrying a stack of books in his arms, a faint look of weariness on his face. His cloak sways with each careful step, the fabric whispering in the quiet of the hall. His eyes are focused on the stack of texts in his arms, seemingly unaware of the long walk ahead. He moves past you without a glance, continuing on his way down the endless halls of the Citadel, lost in thought. You watch him for a moment, his steady, unhurried pace matching the rhythm of the Citadel itself. No matter how much work they do, no matter how many texts they read, the Maesters will never truly finish their task. Their work will continue long after they are gone, passed down to the next generation of scholars. The Citadel is an institution built for eternity, an eternal preservation of knowledge and history. But there is a shadow that lingers over it, an unspoken truth that few discuss openly. And that truth is that, no matter how much the Maesters know, there are still things that they cannot understand. You find yourself walking deeper into the Citadel, past more rooms and chambers, down twisting corridors that seem to lead nowhere. It is easy to lose yourself in the maze-like structure. Each room, each turn, seems the same as the last, filled with more books, more scrolls, and more maesters dedicated to preserving what has already been written. The Citadel itself, with its labyrinthine design, feels like a living, breathing entity, its very walls alive with the weight of centuries of knowledge. The air is thick with the smell of old parchment and ink, the weight of the Citadel's history pressing down on you with every step. Here, amidst all this knowledge, it's hard to not feel insignificant. How many have walked these same halls? How many have pored over the same scrolls, the same texts, searching for answers to the same questions? The Maesters are often seen as the keepers of the world's wisdom, but there is still so much that remains hidden, beyond their reach. The soft glow of candlelight flickers as you pass a long row of study rooms. Each one is occupied, Maesters hunched over their desks, reading, writing, or transcribing the texts that have been gathered over the centuries. The work never stops. The Citadel may be silent, but it is a silence filled with the constant hum of study and learning. The Maesters sit in their rooms, their minds lost in the vastness of the texts before them, their lives entirely dedicated to the pursuit of knowledge. There is no room for distractions here. The work is all-consuming, a life lived in service to the written word, the preservation of history, and the betterment of the world through the pursuit of wisdom. But beyond the study rooms, past the vast library and the deepest chambers of the Citadel, there lies an area where few dare to tread. The lower levels, hidden deep in the heart of the Citadel, hold the oldest and most dangerous of texts. These are the records that are kept hidden from the public eye, locked away in the deepest, most secure chambers of the Citadel. Some say that the texts down here contain forbidden knowledge, secrets that, if uncovered, could shake the very foundation of the world. You find yourself at the entrance to one such chamber, the door before you simple, but heavy with the weight of centuries. It is the entrance to the vaults, the most secretive part of the Citadel, a place few are allowed to visit. The vaults are said to contain books and scrolls that deal with the darkest aspects of magic, lost civilizations, and forgotten histories. These texts are not meant to be read by just any maester. They are kept under lock and key, and only those with the highest authority are allowed to access them. There is a certain unease in the air as you approach the door, the quiet, oppressive silence pressing in on you. The maesters who work here are few, and they speak little about what lies within these vaults. Even the most curious scholars are deterred from seeking out the texts held within. These works are dangerous, some say, knowledge too dark to be understood. And the further you go down into the Citadel, the more you feel the weight of this knowledge pressing in on you. Though the maesters study with great discipline, even they are not immune to fear. There are whispers, rumors, really, about what lies hidden in the vaults. Some say there are spells and rituals of great power, magic that was lost to time but is still contained within the pages of these ancient books. Others claim that the vaults contain the records of the first Maesters and the terrible price they paid for their knowledge. But even the rumors are scarce, for no one speaks openly about the secrets that lie beneath the Citadel. You turn away from the vaults, your mind heavy with curiosity and a slight sense of dread. The Citadel's secrets are vast, its knowledge deep, but there are some things that even the most learned men fear. The Black Door, and the vaults below, represent the boundary between what is known and what is best left forgotten. Perhaps there are things in this world that are not meant to be understood. Walking back through the labyrinth of corridors, you pass by the kitchens, where the Maester's evening meal is being prepared. The smell of roasting meat and freshly baked bread fills the air, a faint comfort amidst the weight of the day's work. The Maesters do not indulge in luxury, but they do take their meals in a simple, respectful manner. There is a sense of quiet reverence even here, as though every part of their lives is shaped by the pursuit of knowledge. As you continue through the Citadel, you begin to feel the exhaustion of the day settle in. The work here is endless, but it is not a burden, it is a way of life. The Citadel demands your attention, your devotion, and your time. The hours are long, the nights are filled with study, and yet, there is a sense of peace here, a peace that comes with the knowledge that you are a part of something greater than yourself. The Citadel is a place of learning, but it is also a place of sacrifice. The Maesters give their lives to the pursuit of wisdom, and in doing so, they become a part of something timeless, something that transcends the boundaries of life and death. As the night deepens, the Citadel begins to quiet down. The last of the Maesters retire to their chambers, their rooms lit only by the soft glow of candlelight. The halls are still, the only sound the soft rustle of robes as scholars prepare for sleep. The Citadel is a place of knowledge, yes, but it is also a place of solitude. It is a place where one's thoughts are allowed to wander, where the past, present, and future can all coexist in the quiet, sacred space between the shelves of the library and the stone walls that house the ancient wisdom of Westeros. You stand in the darkening hallway, listening to the quiet murmur of the wind outside, the faintest echo of the world beyond the Citadel's walls. The Black Door, tucked away in the shadows, still beckons. It is a reminder that, even in the pursuit of knowledge, there are some things that are too dangerous, too mysterious to be understood. Some doors are meant to remain closed, and some mysteries are meant to remain unsolved. But as the night settles in, the Citadel's silence wraps around you, and the rest of the world seems to fade away. Here, in this place of learning and history, you are reminded that knowledge is not just a pursuit, it is a life. And in the Citadel, the life of the Maester is one of endless study, endless searching, and, perhaps most importantly, endless silence. The night deepens over the Citadel, and the hum of activity in the library and the halls fades to an even quieter hum. The soft sound of parchment turning, the crackle of a small fire flickering in one of the distant chambers, and the occasional murmur of a Maester lost in thought, all these sounds become part of the very fabric of the Citadel, filling its air, but not intruding upon the stillness. The silence is almost sacred here, and yet, beneath it, there is an undercurrent of tension, an unspoken presence that hangs over everything. The Black Door is still there, locked away, unseen but ever present, its enigma casting a long shadow over the quiet routines of the Maesters. You walk further into the heart of the Citadel, where the vast stone halls grow darker, and the flickering torchlight becomes even more muted. The weight of the stone is felt here, and the air is colder, as though the very bones of the Citadel are holding their breath. Each step you take echoes softly in the long corridors, the sound muffled by the thickness of the walls, and yet it somehow seems to reverberate through the silence of the building. There is a strange stillness that fills these halls, a kind of waiting, though for what, it is hard to say. The Citadel is a place where knowledge is both revered and hidden. The towering shelves of ancient texts and scrolls in the library contain the wisdom of ages, but they also contain dangerous secrets, the kind of knowledge that might change the course of history if ever discovered. It is a paradox of sorts. The Citadel exists to preserve the wisdom of the world, but within its very walls, there are forces that remain hidden, things that are too powerful, too mysterious to be fully understood. And the black door, looming silently in the archives, stands as a symbol of that hidden knowledge, something to be feared, something to be avoided. Yet, despite the silence and mystery, there is a rhythm to life here, a quiet but steady pace that never seems to falter. The Maesters continue their work, their study, their quiet pursuit of wisdom. They spend long hours in the library, poring over ancient texts, debating theories, transcribing scrolls, and offering counsel to those who seek their knowledge. It is a life of solitude, but also one of deep dedication to the pursuit of understanding. They are scholars, healers, and historians, each Maester taking a different path, but all of them bound by the same oath, to serve the realm with the knowledge they gain. As you make your way deeper into the Citadel, you pass the outer chambers, where new acolytes begin their training. These young men, eager but unaware of the years of study ahead of them, walk with a sense of wonder, their eyes wide with the promise of what they might learn. They move in groups, speaking in low voices as they discuss the day's lessons, their excitement palpable. But as you move further, you notice a different kind of silence, a more solemn, almost reverent quiet. Here, in the older chambers, the Maesters have long since learned the true cost of their study. The wonder has faded, replaced by a quiet resignation. They have dedicated themselves to the pursuit of knowledge, but the weight of that dedication is heavy. One of the elder Maesters, his cloak worn and his hair graying at the temples, walks past you, his hands tucked behind his back in the familiar pose of quiet contemplation. His steps are slow, deliberate, as though each movement requires great thought. His eyes are focused ahead, but his mind seems to be elsewhere, lost in the vast ocean of knowledge that he has spent a lifetime accumulating. There is a weariness in his posture, a silent acknowledgement of the years of study, the countless hours spent in the library, the endless search for answers to questions that never seem to have a definitive response. This is the life of a Maester, a life of endless pursuit. It is not a life for those who seek answers easily, nor is it a life for those who desire comfort. The Citadel is a place of isolation, both in its physical structure and in the lives of the men who dedicate themselves to its pursuit of knowledge. The Maesters are not free men. They have chosen a path that binds them to the Citadel, a path that requires sacrifice, patience, and an unwavering commitment to their work. As you move further into the depths of the Citadel, the air grows even colder. You find yourself in one of the lower chambers, an area seldom seen by those outside of the most dedicated scholars. Here, the shelves of books seem more ancient, more worn, the ink on the pages faded with time. The stone walls feel heavier here, as though the weight of the knowledge contained within these rooms has made the very air feel thick, suffocating almost. These lower chambers are reserved for the oldest, most fragile texts, books that date back centuries, some even millennia. Many of them are so ancient that the text is barely legible, the ink worn and faded. Yet, they are kept here with the utmost care, their knowledge considered too valuable, too precious to ever be lost. The Maesters who work in these lower chambers handle the books with the utmost reverence. Their fingers are careful, almost tender, as they turn the pages, as though afraid that the books might crumble under the weight of time. There is an intensity to their work, a focus that comes from the realization that they are dealing with knowledge that could easily be lost forever. The books here are not just records of the past, they are the keys to understanding the world, to unlocking the mysteries that have eluded men for centuries. And yet, there is something unsettling about this place. The deeper you go, the more you feel the weight of the secrets that lie hidden within these pages. As you continue through the labyrinthine corridors, you find yourself approaching the vaults once more. The path here is dark, the only light coming from the flickering candles that line the walls. The air grows colder still, and the silence is almost deafening. There is a sense of finality here, as though this place is the end of the road for all who enter it. The vaults are the deepest and most secretive part of the Citadel, and there is an unspoken understanding among the Maesters that what lies behind these doors should not be disturbed. The black door is close now, its presence heavy in the air. The vaults are silent, their contents unknown, and yet the Maesters who pass by it never look directly at it. It is as if the door itself is a forbidden thing, something that should not be acknowledged, lest it be unlocked and its secrets be exposed. The weight of this knowledge, the fear of what lies behind that door, seems to hang in the air, creating an oppressive atmosphere that permeates every corner of the Citadel. The door remains locked, untouched, but the knowledge that it is there, just beyond reach, continues to gnaw at the mind. What lies behind it? What secrets are kept in the depths of the Citadel, hidden away from the prying eyes of the world? The Maesters, with all their knowledge, have never dared to open it, and perhaps that is for the best. Some mysteries are better left unsolved, some doors better left unopened. The Black Door represents the limit of understanding, the point beyond which even the most learned men must stop. As you leave the lower chambers, the weight of the silence lingers. The Citadel, for all its grandeur, is not a place of comfort. It is a place of quiet dedication, a place where knowledge is both revered and feared. The Maesters who walk its halls are not simply scholars, they are guardians of the world's most dangerous secrets, keepers of knowledge that can either save or destroy. They live their lives in pursuit of understanding, but they do so knowing that there are things in this world that must remain hidden, locked away in the deepest vaults of the Citadel. As the night deepens and the Citadel falls into a deeper silence, you can't help but feel the pull of the Black Door once more. It remains sealed, its secrets hidden from the world. But as you walk away from it, the feeling that something is being left untouched grows stronger. There are mysteries that will never be solved in the Citadel, and the Black Door is a reminder that some answers are better left undiscovered. As the moon rises higher over Oldtown, its pale light casts a soft glow through the narrow windows of the Citadel. The air, still and cool, seems to hum with the weight of the knowledge contained within these stone walls. The Maesters, now scattered throughout the halls of the Citadel, work diligently into the late hours of the night, their faces illuminated by the flickering light of candle flames, their hands steady as they transcribe, translate, and study the ancient texts that fill every room. The quietude is almost sacred here, and even though the walls seem to close in with every step, it is a peaceful kind of solitude. Tonight, though, the Citadel feels different. There is an odd sense of anticipation in the air, though no one speaks of it aloud. It is as if something unseen is waiting, hovering just beyond the reach of understanding. Even the walls, thick with the knowledge of generations, seem to pulse with a quiet energy, as though they are alive with the secrets they have witnessed over the centuries. You walk through the halls, passing the familiar study rooms where Maesters continue their work in their quiet reverence. The soft light from the candles flickers in the darkened corridors, casting long shadows that stretch across the stone floor. The halls are still, and the only sounds that fill the air are the soft rustle of pages being turned, the low murmur of a conversation about an ancient text, or the faint crackling of a hearth fire in the distance. The pace of life in the Citadel is deliberate, and the weight of knowledge presses down on every step, every thought, every action. The Maesters continue their work, their faces focused, their hands steady as they study the ancient texts and scrolls that line the endless shelves. The rhythm of life in the Citadel remains unchanged, but for you, the world has shifted. There is no way to forget what you've seen, no way to unsee the ancient power that has been hidden in the shadows for so long. You have opened the Black Door, and now you carry its knowledge with you, an unsettling burden that has changed the way you view the Citadel, the Maesters, and the very pursuit of knowledge itself. As you walk through the halls, you feel a sense of alienation. The world around you seems the same as it always has, but it no longer feels familiar. The walls that once seemed solid and reliable now feel like they are closing in on you. The sound of footsteps in the distance, the quiet murmur of scholars discussing their work, the rustle of parchment, all of these things feel distant, disconnected from the turmoil that churns inside you. The Citadel, for all its grandeur, is a place built on order and discipline, but what you've uncovered behind the Black Door defies all that. It is chaos, power, and mystery wrapped in the form of forgotten knowledge, and it is now a part of you. You find yourself walking toward the archives again, as though drawn by some invisible force. The corridors seem to stretch endlessly before you, and the air grows colder with every step. The further you go, the more oppressive the silence becomes. It's as if the very stone of the Citadel is pressing in on you, urging you to turn back, to forget what you've seen. But there is no turning back. The knowledge is within you, and the Citadel's quiet insistence on maintaining order feels futile in the face of the chaos that now stirs in your mind. The deeper you go, the darker it becomes. The halls narrow, the flickering light from the candles growing dimmer, until you find yourself at the foot of the stairs that lead down to the vaults. You've been here before, but the feeling that grips you now is different. The vaults are a place of ancient texts, scrolls, and forbidden knowledge, those things that the Maesters have kept locked away, far from the prying eyes of the world. It is here, deep beneath the Citadel, where the oldest records are kept, the things that cannot be spoken of. And it is here where the Black Door resides. The vaults are dark, the stone walls thick with the weight of centuries of secrets. The air is cool, almost damp, and the quiet is unnerving. The shelves here are filled with brittle scrolls, ancient tomes, and parchment that has long since begun to yellow with age. Some of these texts have not been opened in centuries, perhaps even longer. The ink on their pages is fading, their words barely legible. And yet, they are preserved with the utmost care, for they contain knowledge that, even in its fragile state, is invaluable to those who seek to understand the past. You step into the vaults, the silence surrounding you like a physical presence. The shadows seem to stretch and warp around the rows of bookshelves, and the dim light from the few scattered candles creates eerie shapes along the stone floor. The shelves feel ancient, almost alive, their contents heavy with the weight of knowledge and secrets. The air here feels thicker, as though it has been untouched for centuries, locked away from the outside world. The Black Door is just ahead, its iron-bound surface gleaming faintly in the candlelight. It stands there, unmoving, as though daring you to approach. The door feels like a boundary, a threshold between the known and the unknown. Everything behind it has been kept hidden for so long, and yet, the knowledge it contains is more alive than ever in your mind. You cannot forget the images, the words, the warnings that you uncovered in that room. The Black Door represents a power that the Maesters have long feared, a force that cannot be tamed, controlled, or even understood. Your heart races as you draw closer, the pull of the door stronger now than ever before. There is no turning back. You have already opened the door, and now you must confront the consequences of that action. You have seen the knowledge that lies behind it, and it will not let you go. The power that has been sealed away for so long now courses through your mind, filling every corner of your thoughts. The questions that plagued you before now seem trivial in comparison. The world beyond the Black Door is a world of power, of danger, and of mysteries that may never be fully understood. You pause before the door, your hand trembling slightly as you reach out to touch the cold iron handle. The air seems to hold its breath as you grasp it, and for a moment, everything feels suspended in time. The silence is deafening, and your mind races with the implications of what lies beyond. The Maesters have dedicated their lives to studying the mysteries of the world, but there are some things that even they fear. The Black Door has remained closed for a reason, and now, standing before it, you can feel the weight of that reason pressing down on you. With a slow, deliberate motion, you twist the handle and push the door open. It groans in protest, the hinges creaking under the strain of having remained sealed for so long. The darkness beyond the door spills into the hallway, and as you step inside, you are engulfed by the thick silence of the room. The shadows seem to press in from every side, as if the very walls are alive with secrets. The light from the hallway seems to fade as the door closes behind you, leaving you in near total darkness. The room beyond is filled with rows of shelves, each one stacked with more scrolls, books, and ancient artifacts. Some are familiar, their titles easily recognizable, books that are taught in the study rooms, texts that are discussed in hushed tones by the Maesters. But others are unfamiliar, their spines unmarked, their contents unknown. The air is thick with dust, the smell of old parchment and ink hanging heavily in the space. The room feels like a tomb, a place where knowledge has been locked away for reasons far beyond understanding. You move deeper into the room, your footsteps muffled by the thick dust on the floor. The shelves are packed tightly together, their contents spilling out in disarray, as though no one has dared to touch them for centuries. And yet, there is a sense of order in this chaos. The books and scrolls are arranged in a way that seems deliberate, as though they are waiting for someone to come and unlock their secrets. The ancient knowledge they contain is just beyond reach, and yet, you can feel it pulling you closer, urging you to uncover the mysteries that lie within. In the far corner of the room, you notice a small, weathered chest. It is made of dark wood, its surface scratched and worn by time. The lock is old, but it looks solid, as though it has never been opened. There is something about the chest that draws your attention, something almost magnetic. You step toward it, your heart pounding in your chest as you kneel in front of it. The chest seems to hum with a strange energy, as if it holds something far more powerful than anything you've encountered in the Citadel before. Your hand hovers over the lock, the metal cold beneath your fingertips. This chest, like the black door, has remained sealed for a reason. Whatever lies inside it is something the Maesters have never touched, something they have kept hidden from the world. You wonder what could be so dangerous, so powerful, that it would be locked away like this. And yet, you know that the answers lie within. The knowledge you've uncovered behind the black door has only raised more questions, and this chest may hold the key to those answers. Taking a deep breath, you slowly turn the lock and open the chest. The air shifts as the lid creaks open, and the faintest glimmer of light spills out from within. As you peer inside, your eyes widen at what you see. The lid of the chest creaks as it opens, and a strange, almost magnetic pull emanates from within. The air seems to change, thickening with something ancient, something powerful. For a moment, you hesitate, staring down into the chest with a mixture of awe and unease. The dim light of the room flickers and shifts as if responding to the chest's contents, casting shadows that seem to dance around you. Inside the chest lies a single object, its form partly obscured by the darkness of the room, but still unmistakable. It is an ancient tome, its cover bound in what looks like dark leather, weathered and cracked by centuries of neglect. The edges of the book are frayed, its pages yellowed and delicate, yet despite its age, it exudes an unsettling sense of power. The title, faint and almost invisible at first glance, is written in a language you have never seen before. The ink, though faded, glows faintly in the dim light, as though it pulses with a life of its own. A chill runs down your spine as you carefully reach out, fingers trembling, to touch the cover. The moment your hand makes contact with the book, the air around you seems to vibrate, charged with a strange energy. It is as if the very room itself recognizes the power contained within this object, a power that has been sealed away for so long. You can almost hear a whisper in the back of your mind, as though the book is speaking to you, urging you to open it, to uncover the secrets hidden within its pages. With a deep breath, you lift the book from the chest, its weight heavy in your hands. As you hold it, you feel an overwhelming sense of responsibility. This is not just a book, it is a key to something far greater, something that has been hidden from the world for a reason. The black door, the forbidden knowledge that has been locked away for centuries, has led you here, and now you must face what lies within. You take a step back, moving away from the chest, and find a place to sit in the dimly lit room. The candlelight flickers weakly, casting elongated shadows on the stone walls, but it is enough to illuminate the book in your hands. You open the tome slowly, the pages fragile and brittle, as though they might crumble at the slightest touch. As the first page turns, the strange symbols written across it become clearer, the ink glowing faintly in the flickering light. The language is foreign, its characters unlike any you have seen before, but there is something familiar about it, a sense of recognition that settles in the pit of your stomach. The text on the pages is dense, written in a script that feels ancient and powerful. As your eyes move across the page, you feel as though the words themselves are pulling you in, urging you to understand, to read deeper. Some of the symbols seem to twist and writhe on the page, shifting and changing as you look at them, as though they are alive, responding to your gaze. The sensation is disorienting, but you cannot tear your eyes away from the text. Each word, each phrase, seems to be a puzzle that you must solve, an ancient riddle that holds the key to a knowledge too vast, too dangerous, for any single person to possess. As you read on, you begin to make out fragments of meaning. The words speak of an ancient power, a force that predates even the first recorded histories of Westeros. It speaks of beings, entities, that existed before the gods, before the rise of man, before the creation of the world itself. The text hints at the creation of magic, the origins of the whites, the deep, forgotten sorceries that shaped the early ages of the world. It is as if this book is a record of all the things that have been lost to time, a chronicle of the dark and dangerous forces that have been buried away, forgotten or deliberately hidden by those who came before. As you turn the pages, the weight of what you are reading settles heavily on your shoulders. You are no longer simply reading history, you are uncovering the legacy of power, a power that was meant to be forgotten. The language seems to seep into your mind, its meaning unfolding like a long-lost memory that you never knew you had. The book describes rituals, incantations, and forbidden knowledge that should never have been allowed to exist in the first place. It speaks of controlling life and death, of bending reality itself to the will of those who know how to wield it. You feel a shiver run through you as the realization dawns. This is not just a history book, it is a manual, a guide to forbidden sorcery. It is a guide to manipulating the very forces of life, death, and magic. And it is a guide that has been sealed away for good reason. The Maesters, in their wisdom, knew that such knowledge is too powerful to be allowed into the hands of any one person. They knew that some knowledge, once unlocked, could not be controlled. The Black Door was not simply a barrier to the past, it was a safeguard, a line drawn in the sand to prevent the reckless pursuit of power. As you continue reading, the text begins to reveal the consequences of such knowledge. The rituals described within these pages are not without their price. Those who seek to wield this power are often consumed by it, driven mad by the very forces they seek to control. The text describes how some of the earliest practitioners of this forbidden magic turned against each other, using their newfound powers to wage war against one another, unleashing horrors that destroyed entire civilizations. The power contained within these pages is not a force for good, it is a force that can warp the very fabric of reality, a power that can tear the world apart. You begin to realize the gravity of what you've uncovered. This book is not simply a relic of the past, it is a weapon. And you are holding it in your hands. A sense of dread washes over you. You've always known that the pursuit of knowledge comes with a price, but this is something different. This is not the quiet study of history or medicine. This is not the peaceful pursuit of understanding. This is a power that is beyond comprehension, a power that has been locked away for a reason. The Maesters feared this knowledge for a reason. And now, you understand why. As you continue to flip through the pages, the book reveals more and more secrets, each one more disturbing than the last. There are sketches of dark rituals, symbols of forgotten gods, and descriptions of powers so ancient and powerful that they could undo everything that has come before. The knowledge contained within this book could reshape the world if it falls into the wrong hands. And it is now in yours. You close the book, the weight of its contents pressing down on you like a physical force. The candlelight flickers, casting long shadows across the room. You feel a strange sense of vertigo, as though the ground beneath you is shifting. The walls of the room seem to close in, the very air becoming thicker, heavier, as though the knowledge in the book is reaching out, trying to pull you further in. For a moment, you simply sit there, breathing in the air thick with the weight of centuries of forgotten knowledge. The book rests in your lap, its dark leather cover now seeming to pulse with an energy of its own. You can feel the power within it, and the temptation to open it again, to delve deeper into its secrets, is almost overwhelming. But you know, deep down, that you cannot. This knowledge is dangerous. It has been hidden away for a reason. You cannot allow it to consume you, as it has consumed those before you. With trembling hands, you carefully place the book back in the chest, closing it with a soft click. The room feels lighter now, the air less oppressive, but the sense of foreboding still lingers. You step back from the chest, your heart racing as you realize the enormity of what you have just uncovered. The knowledge is still with you, buried deep in your mind, and you know that it will never be forgotten. The Black Door is closed once again, but the door to these ancient secrets has been opened in your mind. And you wonder, as you step away from the chest, whether you have made a terrible mistake, whether the pursuit of knowledge, no matter how tempting, is truly worth the price. The days after you open the black door feel like a blur, the hours stretching endlessly before you. The Citadel remains unchanged on the surface, quiet, orderly, filled with the familiar rustle of scrolls and the soft murmur of Maesters at their work. The routines continue as they always have. Books are transcribed, ancient texts are examined, and the Maesters move with deliberate pace, lost in their thoughts, their work, and their unspoken dedication to preserving the knowledge of the world. But for you, the world has shifted. The black door, once a symbol of mystery and forbidden knowledge, now looms over your every step. The secrets it contains are no longer buried, they are a part of you, gnawing at the edges of your mind, demanding your attention. The knowledge you uncovered is more than you can fully comprehend, and every time you close your eyes, you see the strange symbols, the cryptic drawings, the rituals that were meant to be forgotten. They haunt you, a shadow that follows you through every corridor, every study, every quiet moment spent in the Citadel's vast, stone halls. You pass through the familiar study rooms, where Maesters sit hunched over their desks, transcribing and copying texts. Their faces are focused, their eyes fixed on the pages in front of them, but there is a distance to their gaze, as though they are detached from the world around them. The pace of life in the Citadel continues at its usual slow, deliberate rhythm, but for you, it all feels too quiet, too slow. You can no longer lose yourself in the routine of study, the careful handling of scrolls and books. The weight of the knowledge you have uncovered presses down on you, urging you to act, to understand, to make sense of the chaos that lies behind the black door. You find yourself wandering the halls more often than you ever did before, your mind racing with the implications of what you've seen. The Maesters are content to live in their quiet routines, satisfied with the knowledge they have. But you cannot ignore the questions that fill your mind, the things you uncover, the dangers that lie hidden in those forgotten texts. You wonder how long it will take before the Citadel, with its endless halls and vast libraries, becomes a prison for you, a place where the weight of knowledge is no longer a comfort, but a curse. The sound of footsteps behind you jolts you from your thoughts, and you turn to find one of the younger Maesters walking briskly down the hallway, a stack of scrolls clutched tightly in his hands. His face is focused, his eyes determined, as he moves quickly past you. He doesn't seem to notice your distraction, absorbed in his work, as so many of the Maesters are. You wonder if any of them are ever truly aware of what they are sacrificing in their pursuit of knowledge, their isolation, their detachment from the world, their willingness to ignore the dangers that might lie just out of sight. As you continue walking, your mind drifts back to the black door. It is a physical barrier, yes, but it is also something more. It represents the limits of knowledge, the boundary between what can be known and what must remain hidden. The Maesters, for all their wisdom, have chosen to ignore what lies behind it, to leave it sealed away, as if by doing so, they can prevent the chaos that could arise from unlocking its secrets. But you have seen what lies behind that door, and you know that the Maesters' decision to keep it locked away is not simply out of caution, it is out of fear. Fear of what they cannot control, fear of what the knowledge inside might do if it were ever allowed to escape. The walls of the Citadel feel thicker now, the weight of the knowledge contained within them pressing down on you. The endless rows of books and scrolls that line the shelves in every room are no longer a comforting sight. They are reminders of what has been sealed away, what must never be uncovered. The Maesters, for all their study and discipline, are simply caretakers, guarding knowledge without ever truly confronting the dangers that come with it. You find yourself in the library, standing before the shelves that stretch high into the shadows. The books seem to mock you, their quiet presence a reminder of everything that is locked away from the world. You try to lose yourself in the pages of a nearby text, a familiar volume on the history of the first men, but the words blur before your eyes. The knowledge you have uncovered behind the black door has colored everything you once took for granted. Even the simplest texts now feel meaningless in comparison to the power that lies hidden in the vaults beneath the Citadel. As you move between the rows of books, you catch sight of one of the senior Maesters, a man whose presence always commands respect. He stands at the far end of the library, his eyes scanning the pages of an ancient manuscript, his hands steady as he reads. His brow is furrowed, lost in thought, as always. You wonder if he, too, feels the weight of the knowledge that surrounds them all. Perhaps he has never ventured beyond the black door. Perhaps he has never questioned what might lie hidden within those dark corners of the Citadel. Or perhaps he knows more than he lets on. The Maester does not look up as you pass by, lost in his studies as he always is. The soft sound of his quill scratching on parchment is the only noise in the otherwise silent room. For a moment, you wonder if it is possible to ever go back to the way things were before you opened the black door. Can you ever go back to being just a scholar, just a keeper of knowledge, when you now hold the most dangerous secrets in the Citadel? The questions are endless, and the answers are nowhere to be found. You make your way through the library and into the corridors that lead to the lower levels of the Citadel. The air grows colder as you descend, the scent of old books and dust growing stronger. The silence is oppressive here, the thick stone walls absorbing every sound. The deeper you go, the more oppressive the atmosphere becomes. You pass by a few of the senior maesters, but they are lost in their own thoughts, too absorbed in their work to notice you. The weight of the silence grows heavier as you approach the archives where the black door once stood. As you reach the bottom of the stairs, you pause for a moment. The vaults are here, hidden deep within the Citadel, locked away from the world. The knowledge contained within these walls is both a gift and a curse. The Maesters have long since agreed that some knowledge must be kept secret, that there are things too dangerous to be known. But now, standing here, you wonder if the Citadel itself has become a prison, a place where the knowledge of the world is carefully controlled, carefully sealed away. But at what cost? You step forward, moving past the shelves that line the walls, your footsteps muffled by the thick dust that covers the floor. The vaults are quiet, the air still and cool. The shadows seem to stretch longer in this part of the Citadel, as though the darkness itself is more real here, more tangible. The books and scrolls that fill the shelves seem to stare back at you, their contents unreadable, their knowledge locked away in silence. At the far end of the room, you catch sight of the black door once more, its iron-bound surface gleaming faintly in the dim light. It stands as it always has, a barrier between the known and the unknown, a symbol of everything the Citadel seeks to protect. But now, it feels more like a prison, a cage that has been built to keep something locked away. The knowledge within is not meant to be shared, but it is too late for that now. You have seen what lies beyond it, and you cannot forget it. You stand before the black door, your hand resting on the cold iron. The door feels like an enigma, something that both repels and attracts you, something that holds the answers to questions you've never dared to ask. But you know the truth now. Some things are better left sealed away. Some knowledge is too dangerous to possess. The Maesters were right to lock this door, right to keep its secrets hidden from the world. But now that the door has been opened, now that you have seen what lies behind it, you wonder how long it will take before others discover the same truth. The secrets of the black door are out now, and they will change everything. The Citadel can never return to the quiet sanctuary it once was. And neither can you. The Citadel feels different now. Every corner, every hallway, every chamber seems to carry an unfamiliar weight. The stone that once felt so solid, so reassuring, now feels stifling, as though the very walls are closing in on you. You pass through the familiar corridors, the soft murmur of maesters reading and transcribing echoing off the cold stone, but the sounds seem distant, like they belong to another world. The weight of what you have discovered presses down on you like a physical force, and you feel the pull of the black door even now, its mystery and power haunting your every thought. The maesters, ever focused on their work, seem oblivious to the change that has swept through you. They move from room to room, from scroll to scroll, from theory to theory, absorbed in the quiet rhythm of the Citadel's daily life. But you are no longer a part of that rhythm. The pursuit of knowledge, which once filled your every thought, has become something darker, something more dangerous. The texts you uncovered, the power they described, and the rituals they detailed, those things cannot be unlearned. You cannot erase the images from your mind, nor the terrible weight of responsibility that comes with knowing such forbidden things. You wander through the halls, lost in thought, your mind racing. The black door looms large in your memory, and every time you close your eyes, you see the strange symbols, the terrifying rituals, and the cryptic warnings that filled the pages of that ancient tome. There is no way to escape it. The knowledge is now part of you, and it has changed you in ways you cannot explain. The world, once so ordered, so structured, now feels unstable, as though everything you thought you understood is slowly unraveling. The more you try to focus on your work, the more the thoughts creep back in, demanding your attention. You cannot escape the question that haunts you: what is the true purpose of the Black Door? What was so dangerous, so forbidden, that it required the entire Citadel to lock it away for centuries? The Maesters, for all their wisdom, have kept this secret for a reason, but now you know that their reason is not enough. The power that lies behind the Black Door is too great to ignore. And as much as you try to push the thoughts from your mind, you know that there is no going back. The day passes slowly, the quiet rhythm of the Citadel continuing without pause, as if nothing has changed. The Maesters work in their study rooms, transcribing texts, discussing theories, and advising the noble houses. But every step you take, every moment spent in these halls, feels like a betrayal. The very walls of the Citadel seem to be closing in on you, suffocating you with the weight of its secrets. The knowledge you uncovered is not meant for you, and yet it is now a part of you, its influence growing with every passing moment. You find yourself in the library, standing before the shelves that stretch high into the shadows. The smell of old books and parchment fills the air, but it feels different now, thicker, more oppressive. The knowledge stored here no longer seems like a gift, it seems like a trap. The books and scrolls that line the shelves are no longer just words, they are barriers, walls that separate you from the truth. The Citadel, once a place of learning, now feels like a prison, and you are trapped within it. You scan the shelves, your eyes falling on the familiar texts that once brought you comfort. The histories, the medical tomes, the treatises on astronomy, all of them seem so small, so insignificant in comparison to what you now know. The forbidden book you uncovered behind the Black Door holds a power that cannot be rivaled by any text here. It is a power that could change the very fabric of the world, a force that has been sealed away for a reason. And yet, you wonder, what if it is already too late? What if the knowledge you have uncovered cannot be contained? As you wander through the library, you pass the study rooms where other Maesters are lost in their work. They do not look up as you pass, their faces focused on the pages in front of them, their minds lost in the pursuit of understanding. They are the keepers of knowledge, the guardians of the Citadel's vast collection, but they are blind to the dangers that lie hidden beneath the surface. They live their lives in pursuit of knowledge, but they have never truly understood the weight of that pursuit. They do not know what you have seen, what you have uncovered, and they are better off for it. You stop in front of one of the study rooms and peer inside. The Maester sitting at the desk is deep in concentration, his brow furrowed as he transcribes a scroll. The soft rustle of parchment fills the room, but it does little to break the silence. The Maester's movements are deliberate, calm, but there is something unsettling about the way he works. It is as if he is blind to the world around him, consumed entirely by the task at hand. There is no urgency in his actions, no sense of the weight of the world pressing down on him. He is detached, lost in his studies, and yet he is oblivious to the dangers that lie just beyond his reach. You feel a pang of envy for the Maester. He is at peace with his work, absorbed in the quiet study of the past, content with the knowledge that has been handed down to him. But you cannot share that peace. The Black Door has shattered the illusion of safety that once surrounded you. It has opened the door to a world of power and danger, and now that you have seen it, there is no going back. The silence of the Citadel presses in on you, and you feel the weight of the knowledge you carry like an anchor around your neck. You walk past the study rooms, past the endless rows of books, and head toward the lower levels of the Citadel. The air grows colder as you descend, the smell of old parchment and dust growing stronger. The vaults, the hidden heart of the Citadel, are not far now. You know that the Black Door is still locked, still sealed away, but you cannot shake the feeling that it is calling to you. It is as if the door itself is alive, watching you, waiting for you to return. As you approach the vaults, the air grows heavier, the weight of centuries of knowledge pressing down on you. The stone walls of the Citadel feel thicker here, more ancient, as though they are holding back something more than just books and scrolls. The vaults are where the forbidden knowledge is kept, the things that the Maesters have deemed too dangerous to be known. It is where the black door stands, silent and still, guarding the most dangerous secrets of the Citadel. You stand before the entrance to the vaults, your heart racing. The door is familiar, but it feels different now. It is not just a door, it is a threshold, a boundary between the known and the unknown. The Maesters have never ventured beyond the black door, but you have. You have seen what lies behind it, and you know that the knowledge it holds cannot be ignored. With a deep breath, you step forward, your hand resting on the cold stone of the doorframe. The vaults, once a place of quiet study, now feel like a tomb. You wonder how many others have stood here before you, wondering the same things, feeling the same pull toward the forbidden knowledge that lies beyond the door. How many Maesters have passed by the black door, their curiosity gnawing at them, but never daring to open it? How many have ignored the dangers, content to live in ignorance? But you cannot ignore it. The knowledge is too powerful, too tempting. The door has already been opened, and now you must face the consequences. The weight of what lies behind the black door clings to you like a second skin. It is an invisible burden, but one that shapes every thought, every action, every moment of your life within the Citadel. As the days continue to unfold, the walls of the great fortress feel closer, more confining. The long corridors, the rows of towering shelves filled with books and scrolls, the quiet rustle of parchment in study rooms, all of it now seems to press against you, suffocating you with the realization that what you discovered is too great to be ignored. What was once a place of safety, where knowledge was the key to understanding, now feels like a labyrinth that you cannot escape from. The black door and its contents haunt you in ways you cannot express. Every time you enter a study room, you can't help but wonder if there is something darker hidden within the shelves of seemingly harmless books. Every time you overhear a maester discussing history, magic, or healing, your mind wanders back to the tome you uncovered. Its pages still burn in your memory, those strange symbols, the rituals described in the text, the warnings that seem almost prophetic now, as though they were meant for someone like you to discover them. The Maesters have always lived by the mantra that knowledge is power, but now you understand that there are forms of power that no one, not even the wisest of men, should ever wield. You find yourself walking the Citadel's halls with a sense of urgency, but you don't know where you're going. The world around you has become a blur, the silence of the Citadel echoing too loudly in your mind. The soft shuffle of robes, the quiet murmur of conversation in the study rooms, the crackle of a fire in the hearth, all of it blends together into one overwhelming sound. It is as if the Citadel itself is pressing in on you, pushing you closer to the knowledge you are trying to ignore. The deeper you go into the labyrinth, the more you feel the weight of it on your shoulders, the sense that something is drawing you toward it. You pass the kitchens, the smell of roasting meat and fresh bread filling the air, but even this, once a comfort, does nothing to calm you. The servants move about, preparing meals for the Maesters and the occasional visitor to the Citadel, but their faces seem distant, unaware of the turmoil brewing beneath the surface of your thoughts. They go about their work, lost in the rhythm of their tasks, while you can hardly keep yourself from thinking of the forbidden knowledge buried in the vaults. You could ask them for respite, to help take your mind off of it, but you know that you cannot speak of the black door. The secrets you've uncovered are yours alone to bear, and the more you think about them, the heavier they seem to become. You pause for a moment outside a small study room, where the soft glow of candlelight spills out from beneath the door. Inside, you can hear the sound of pages turning and the faint scratch of a quill against parchment. A maester is at work, lost in the study of ancient texts, likely unaware of the storm of questions and fears that plague your mind. You feel the pull to enter, to lose yourself in the comfort of the routine, the safety of the Citadel studies. But you know that you cannot escape the truth by hiding in these halls. You cannot outrun the knowledge you now carry with you. It is a truth you cannot unlearn. You turn away from the door and continue down the hall, the stone walls pressing in on you, the the silence only growing heavier as you move. The deeper you walk into the Citadel, the more the knowledge feels like a living thing, coiling around your thoughts, filling the space with its weight. It is a power that you cannot ignore. It is not just the knowledge itself, but the implications of it, the realization that you are holding something that could destroy everything. You've seen what the Maesters do with knowledge, how they carefully preserve it, how they catalog every scrap of information they come across. But what you've uncovered cannot be contained. It is too dangerous. It should have stayed behind the black door, locked away from the world. The Citadel's lower levels are colder than the rest of the fortress, the air thick with the scent of old parchment and forgotten memories. The light from the torches flickers in the dim corridors, casting long shadows across the stone walls. You pass by the vaults once again, the door to the black door still closed, still locked. You know that you should never go near it again. You have seen enough of its contents, and the thought of unlocking it once more fills you with dread. But the temptation is always there, a pull in your chest, a whisper in the back of your mind that tells you to return, to uncover more, to learn the full truth. The vaults are filled with knowledge that the Maesters have deemed too dangerous to be known, but you know that it is not just the knowledge that is dangerous, it is the power behind it. The rituals described in the tome, the incantations that were once spoken, the terrible forces that were unleashed when those ancient powers were set into motion, all of it is now a part of you. And it is a part of you that you cannot escape. No matter how hard you try to push it from your mind, it always returns, gnawing at you, demanding to be understood, demanding to be unleashed. You find yourself standing before the black door once more, your hand hovering just inches from the cold iron handle. The door, though locked, seems to call to you, its silence louder than any sound. You can almost feel the weight of the knowledge beyond it, pressing against you, urging you to open it. But you know better. You know that the answers you seek are not in that room, they are not behind that door. The knowledge you've uncovered is not meant to be shared, not meant to be wielded. And yet, there is a part of you that still wants to unlock it, to uncover what lies hidden within the shadows. With a deep breath, you pull your hand away from the door and step back. The silence that fills the air is deafening, as though the Citadel itself is waiting for you to make a choice. But the choice is no longer yours to make. The knowledge you carry, the burden you bear, cannot be ignored. The more you try to suppress it, the more it will consume you. The Maesters may have sealed it away for a reason, but now it is up to you to decide what to do with it. And that decision, more than any text or scroll in the Citadel, is the one that will define your fate. The halls of the Citadel feel colder now, the air thick with the weight of centuries of knowledge and secrets. You make your way back to your study, but the familiar surroundings offer little comfort. The shelves are lined with books, the parchment spread out before you, but the words are meaningless now. The world you once knew is slipping away, replaced by the terrifying realization that there are forces at work in the Citadel, forces that you can never fully understand, but that you are now a part of. As you sit down at your desk, the candlelight flickering before you, you realize that you can never go back. The knowledge you have uncovered is not just a part of history, it is a part of you now. You are tied to it, bound by its power and its mystery. And as much as you may want to forget it, as much as you may want to ignore it, you know that the path you've taken cannot be undone. The black door is a door that cannot be closed. Not anymore. The weight of the book, the rituals, the power, it all presses in on you, and you wonder if there is anyone in the Citadel who could ever truly understand what you are going through. Perhaps the Maesters have always known the cost of knowledge, the price that must be paid for uncovering the world's darkest secrets. Perhaps they have always known that some things are better left behind closed doors. You pick up the book from the table, its leather cover still cool to the touch. It feels heavier than it did before, its weight more oppressive, as though it is no longer a mere artifact but a living, breathing thing. The knowledge it contains is vast, powerful, and dangerous. And it is yours now, for better or for worse. The silence of the Citadel is broken only by the sound of the flickering candle. The shadows dance on the walls, casting long, dark figures across the stone floor. You wonder what the Maesters would say if they knew the truth. What would they think of you now, knowing what you have seen, what you have unlocked? Would they condemn you, or would they understand the burden you carry? You know one thing for certain, the Citadel can never be the same for you again. The black door has opened, and once it is unlocked, there is no going back. The weight of the knowledge you carry feels even more oppressive as the days pass, and it is with a growing sense of dread that you continue your existence within the Citadel. The walls, once reassuring in their ancient solidity, now seem to close in on you. The long, winding corridors no longer provide comfort but instead serve as reminders of your isolation, the unspoken understanding that you know something dangerous, something that cannot be undone. The weight of that knowledge is not just intellectual, it is deeply personal, threading through your thoughts and actions like a chain you cannot break. It is a burden, one that was not of your choosing, and one that you cannot cast aside. Each day, you walk the familiar halls, passing by study rooms where Maesters are absorbed in their work, unaware of the turmoil that churns inside you. Their lives continue as they always have, consumed with their quiet study of history, medicine, and the natural world. They know nothing of the forbidden knowledge you now hold, of the ancient and terrifying power that lies buried behind the black door. And that is perhaps the most unbearable part of it all. The Citadel, for all its wisdom, remains blind to the danger that pulses at its heart. The knowledge that has been sealed away, the power that has been hidden, is a secret that has now become a part of you. And you cannot share it, cannot speak of it, because to do so would be to unravel everything. You walk through the library, feeling the quiet hum of activity around you but finding no comfort in it. The flickering candlelight, the soft rustle of pages being turned, the quiet murmur of Maesters in discussion, it all feels distant now, alien. Once, the library was a place of refuge, a place where knowledge was both comforting and empowering. But now, it feels like a prison. The shelves, filled with the works of scholars long dead, now seem to mock you. They are filled with the safe, the known, the cataloged. But you have ventured beyond that, past the boundaries of what is considered acceptable, and into a realm where the cost of understanding is far greater than you ever imagined. As you pass one of the study rooms, you glance inside and see a maester poring over a thick tome, his brow furrowed in concentration. He is oblivious to your presence, lost in the quiet rhythm of his work. You wonder what it would be like to live in such oblivion, to be so absorbed in the pursuit of knowledge that the world outside simply fades away. But you know that is not possible for you anymore. The world outside the Citadel, once so distant and irrelevant, now feels closer than ever. It is a world that you can never fully rejoin, not after what you have learned. There is no turning back. Your mind drifts back to the book, to the ancient tome you uncovered behind the black door. The pages of that book still linger in your memory, the strange symbols, the incantations, the descriptions of rituals that have been long forgotten. You remember the power that seemed to seep from the pages, the warning that if such knowledge were ever fully understood, it could unleash a force far beyond human comprehension. And yet, despite the warning, you cannot shake the feeling that the knowledge is already stirring inside you, growing stronger, demanding your attention. You pause in the hallway, your thoughts consumed by the weight of the book. The Citadel's quiet routines continue around you, but they feel like the calm before a storm. You feel the pull of the black door once again, the desire to return to the vaults, to unlock its secrets even further. The temptation is strong, stronger than it has ever been. You wonder if you can resist it for much longer. You know what is at stake, the world, the realm, the very fabric of reality itself, but the knowledge is like a hunger, and hunger cannot be sated by ignoring it. As you walk through the halls, you pass by the kitchen, the smell of roasting meat and baking bread filling the air. The simple, comforting aromas are almost enough to distract you, to offer a fleeting moment of normalcy. The servants are busy preparing meals for the Maesters, their faces tired but content as they move through the motions of their work. But you are not like them. You cannot simply carry on as if nothing has changed. The black door, the forbidden knowledge, it has changed everything. The more you try to push it away, the more it pulls you in. You stop before a small study room, the door slightly ajar. You can hear the faint sound of a maester's voice inside, low and steady as he recites from a text. It is an ordinary sound, one you have heard countless times before, but today, it feels like an intrusion. You feel the urge to step inside, to join in a quiet study, but you know you cannot. The knowledge you possess is not a gift. It is a curse. It is a darkness that you cannot share, that you cannot explain. To speak of it would be to bring it into the light, and that is something you are not yet ready to do. Not yet. You walk past the study room, your footsteps heavy on the stone floor. The walls of the Citadel, once comforting and familiar, now feel like they are closing in on you. The labyrinth of corridors seems to stretch endlessly, the vastness of the building now an oppressive reminder of your isolation. You long to escape, to leave the Citadel behind and find peace, but there is no escape. The knowledge you carry is a part of you now, and it will follow you wherever you go. The days turn into weeks, and the Citadel continues its quiet, methodical rhythm. The Maesters work, the scholars study, and the world outside the walls continues to turn. But you are no longer a part of that world. You are an outsider, carrying a secret that you cannot share, a knowledge that you cannot understand. You are both part of the Citadel and yet not, for you are burdened by a truth that no one else can see. One evening, as the sun sets over Oldtown and the light from the harbor fades behind the horizon, you find yourself standing in the courtyard of the Citadel. The cold air bites at your skin, the wind rustling the leaves of the trees that line the stone pathways. The courtyard is empty, save for a few maesters who walk in quiet contemplation, their cloaks swirling around them as they make their way through the cold. You stand at the edge of the courtyard, staring out over the city, the world beyond the Citadel's walls now seeming both distant and unattainable. You wonder what it would be like to walk away from this place, to leave the Citadel and never look back. The world beyond the Citadel is vast, filled with people, with life, with the possibility of freedom. But you know that you cannot leave. The knowledge you have uncovered, the forbidden truths that have been revealed to you, have bound you to the Citadel. You are now part of its history, part of the web of knowledge that stretches back through the ages. And you know that there is no escaping it. The black door calls to you even now, its presence looming at the back of your mind. You know that it will never be locked again. It is a door that cannot be closed, a knowledge that cannot be forgotten. The temptation to unlock its secrets is still there, a constant hum in your thoughts, urging you to go deeper, to uncover more. But you know that the cost is too great. The knowledge you have already seen is enough to consume you. And yet, you also know that you cannot walk away from it. You take a deep breath, the cool air filling your lungs, and you turn away from the courtyard, returning to the familiar, cold stone halls of the Citadel. The black door still stands, locked and waiting, but you know that it is not the door you must face. It is the knowledge that lies within you, the knowledge that is now a part of you. And as much as you wish to forget, as much as you long to escape, you know that the only way out is through. The weight of the book, the forbidden knowledge, and the power that it holds is yours to carry now. And as you walk back into the heart of the Citadel, you realize that there is no turning back. The door has been opened, and you must live with the consequences. The weeks pass, and the Citadel remains as it always has, silent, filled with the soft rustle of parchment, the steady flow of ink on scrolls, and the unhurried rhythm of scholarly work. The Maesters continue their duties, lost in their studies and theories, unaware of the burden that you carry. The black door, locked away in the vaults, seems to fade into the background of your thoughts, but the knowledge it contains is still with you. It has woven itself into your very being, an unspoken truth that you cannot shake, no matter how hard you try. You walk the halls of the Citadel every day, passing the familiar faces of maesters absorbed in their work, their eyes focused on the endless stream of scrolls and books that fill the fortress. They are content, lost in their quiet, methodical study. They live their lives in pursuit of knowledge, unaware that some knowledge is too dangerous to be known. You wonder, sometimes, if they would ever understand what you've uncovered, if they would understand the danger that now courses through your veins. But you know they never will. The Citadel is a place of order, of logic, and of knowledge that can be cataloged, studied, and controlled. What you have uncovered is not meant for the Maesters. It is not meant for anyone. It is a knowledge that transcends the boundaries of what is known, a power so ancient and terrible that it was sealed away for good reason. And yet, it pulses within you like a hidden current, a force you can neither control nor ignore. As the days turn into months, you find yourself drawn back to the vaults. The black door still calls to you, its silent presence a constant whisper at the back of your mind. The temptation to open it again, to dive deeper into the forbidden knowledge it contains, grows stronger with every passing day. You know the danger, the risks involved, but you also know that there is no turning back. The truth is already a part of you, and the more you try to bury it, the more it demands to be understood. One night, as the Citadel lies silent beneath the light of the moon, you find yourself standing once again before the black door. The air is still, and the only sound is the soft crackling of a distant fire somewhere far in the Citadel's depths. The door looms before you, its cold iron surface glinting in the dim light, its presence both oppressive and inviting. You hesitate for a moment, your heart pounding in your chest. The door has been closed for so long, but you know that it cannot remain closed forever. Not for you. With trembling hands, you reach out, your fingers brushing against the cold metal. The silence around you feels suffocating, as though the Citadel itself is holding its breath. You know the consequences of your actions, and yet, you feel as though the door is a part of you now, just as the knowledge inside it has become a part of you. You cannot ignore it any longer. The door creaks as you turn the handle, the sound echoing through the stillness. The vaults beyond it are silent, waiting, as though they have been waiting for you all along. You step through the door, and the darkness of the room envelopes you, a familiar weight pressing down on your shoulders. The air is thick with the scent of old parchment, dust, and forgotten secrets. The shelves are still there, filled with books, scrolls, and artifacts that have not seen the light of day in centuries. You walk toward the farthest corner of the room, where the chest lies, still unopened. The book you discovered months ago is still within it, its dark cover gleaming faintly in the flickering light. You have avoided it for as long as you could, but now, you cannot resist. The pull is too great. The power contained within those pages is something you cannot turn away from. With careful hands, you open the chest, your heart racing as you reach for the book. The leather feels cold beneath your fingers, and as you lift it from the chest, the weight of it presses down on you like a physical force. You open the tome once more, the pages as brittle as they were before, the strange symbols and ancient script still glowing faintly on the pages. The room seems to pulse with energy, the words on the page calling to you, drawing you in like a siren's song. You begin to read once more, the knowledge unfolding before your eyes. But this time, something is different. The words seem clearer, more comprehensible. The symbols that once twisted and writhed now form a coherent narrative. You understand the rituals now. You understand the power that is contained within them. A sense of dread washes over you as you continue reading. The rituals are not just for gaining power, they are for controlling it, bending it to the will of the practitioner. The book describes how the first Maesters, centuries ago, began to unlock the secrets of the world, tapping into forces that should have remained untouched. The knowledge they uncovered was dangerous, but it was also seductive. It promised power beyond measure, the ability to control life, death, and the very fabric of reality. But the cost was high. The power consumed those who sought it, twisting them, driving them to madness and despair. The Maesters who had once dared to use the rituals fell into ruin, their minds shattered, their souls lost to the very power they sought to control. You can feel the pull of that power, a temptation that gnaws at you, whispering to you, urging you to continue. You know that the knowledge you are reading is not meant for anyone, it was never meant to be understood. The power it offers is beyond the scope of mortal comprehension, and yet, here you are, standing at the precipice of it, your hands trembling as you hold the book in your lap. The temptation to continue reading, to unlock more, to gain more control over the world, is overwhelming. But as you read, the words become more insistent, more demanding. They are no longer just words, they are a command. A command to act, to use the power you now possess. The weight of the knowledge settles over you, and for a moment, you wonder if it is too late. Too late to turn back, too late to escape the pull of this ancient power. The door to the black door has been opened, and it is now up to you to decide what to do with the knowledge within it. The Maesters once sought to contain this power, to protect the world from it, but you know that they could not. They could not resist the allure of forbidden knowledge, and neither can you. As the flickering candlelight casts shadows across the room, you realize that you have crossed a line. The Citadel, for all its wisdom and its knowledge, cannot protect you now. The power you have uncovered is not just a part of the Citadel, it is a part of you. And there is no turning back from this path. You close the book, but it is no longer the same. The door has been opened, and once the door is opened, it cannot be closed again. The power, the knowledge, the truth, it is all yours now. And with it, you must decide whether you will use it or leave it buried. The Citadel may have been a place of learning, but it is now a place of choices, the choice to continue the pursuit of forbidden knowledge, or the choice to walk away from it forever. But in your heart, you know that the choice has already been made. You have unlocked the door, and the knowledge is now a part of you. Whether you want it or not, the Citadel's greatest secret is yours to command.